Hello, hello.
Nice jersey. Switch numbers.
I guess I put the wrong one on.
Good game, Brandon.
We were in on the back.
Well, so what happened was I forgot about the press conference, and so I also have new pants on, and so I threw my jersey back on, but apparently it wasn't my jersey.
There we go. Has it been that type of day?
I guess it's been that kind of day, huh?
Joe, is there anything you can take away from that series plus that you played the first time with Buffalo?
Oh, some maybe. Just kind of gave a look into their mindset early in the game. They have a look into our mindset early in the game, but not much you can take from it. No.
Hey Joe, the Bills defense second in red zone this year. What about besides good players, what about their packages and schemes make them effective?
Well, the way they play defense, they try to keep everything in front and limit the big plays. And when you get down into the red zone, that style of defense is really effective because you shorten the field, and they can play a lot more aggressive in their zones. And like you said, they have really good players as well.
Safe to say, knowing your personality, are you looking forward to going into a hostile environment, possibly playing in the snow and getting a chance to, go in and be the underdogs and upset what they have going on there?
Yeah, I always enjoy going on the road. It's just you and your guys. Feels like it's you against the world, and that's where we like to be.
Do you feel like an underdog going into this game?
I never feel like an underdog.
You and Sam go way back, obviously, to the dorms at Ohio State. I'm curious what you remember about most those days and maybe why you and Sam clicked as such good friends back then.
We just have similar mindsets. We have always had similar goals, and I've always worked really hard and had some fun times as well. And so when you go through all that together in your formative years, you develop a bond that lasts forever.
I know, I guess the legend was that before your draft, obviously you guys hung out in Miami and he was recruiting you. I guess. Did you view it that way? And what was that trip like for you guys? That trip?
We were just hanging. I hadn't seen him in a while, so it was good to see him at that time. And it's been great to play with him for the first several years of my career, and hopefully for a lot longer.
I'm curious, it's switched this week, right? Like, you're the one that's supposed to get all the attention after the playoff game, and he's supposed to be the anonymous defensive lineman. What's it been like for you watching it be sort of on the other foot these last few days?
It's just fun to watch guys that work really hard make big-time plays to win games. And I texted him yesterday. It was like, man, it's crazy. You had a 98-yard touchdown in the playoffs. He's like, man, I know. It was wild. So that was funny.
When you go on the road for such a big game and it's going into a hostile environment, what's it like when you get off the bus at the hotel, you see fans there cheering? What's that like emotionally knowing they're all there for you guys?
It's fun. Our fans travel really well. They always have. And, I expect this week to be no different. And so when you get to the hotel and you see all your fans, gathered around, looking at the buses, taking pictures, it's just kind of converging onto one location to finish the goal that you started.
What were some of the more hostile environments that you played in, SEC as well as NFL, and what can you draw from those experiences that you can utilize for this game, do you think?
Well, really, anytime you play on the road, it's hostile, especially in the NFL, in big games. And, really, you just take the same mindset that you always have and transfer it on the road. It's just going to be a little louder, and it's going to affect your operation a little bit, but that's why you practice.
Joe, that game on Monday night was one of the most anticipated games of the season. How much do you anticipate getting a chance to actually play them again now that it's in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's just another game, another playoff game. Obviously, what happened was, that's always in the back of everybody's minds, but, now it's win or go home. I think that's what everybody's mostly focused on.
What kind of lingering emotions are there from that Monday night and what happened, if any?
For me personally, not much anymore. Now that DeMar's doing better, he's back with the team. You're getting all the good updates. So, I think at least for me, that's in the past.
Since that game ended so quickly, can you use a lot of that game plan because they didn't see it, we didn't see it, or do you start from square one? How does that work?
A little of both. The stuff that you didn't run, you can carry over, and then you have two more games of film that you can watch, and so you take some stuff and add some new plays off of those game tapes that you haven't seen, and you go from there.
How important are your relationships with the offensive linemen, especially, Joe, given the fact that in the last 3 weeks or so, 3/5 of the offensive line has changed? How important are the relationships you build over the season when get to know not only the starters but everybody?
Well, that's why I think our locker room is so rare and so close. I think that's why guys are able to step in and make the plays that they do, is because everyone has trust in everybody in that locker room to put in the work to get their job done. And so whenever one guy goes down, you throw another guy in, the expectation is there's not going to be a drop-off, and there really hasn't been at all this year for any position.
I was going to ask, on the outside there's doubt, right? I mean, there's people wondering, can this player handle those kind of responsibilities when that guy, the starter, had handled it all season long? On the inside, is there any doubt?
There's really not. All the guys that are playing have played a lot of football for us. They're playing some different positions now. But, last year, Hakeem was a starter, Max was a starter, and Jackson was a starter all at some point in the year. So we have a lot of faith in all those guys.
You haven't had to go silent snap count for a while, but you've been doing it all year long at some point in time, and everybody in the offensive line, even the guys that are now playing, have been exposed to that. Do you anticipate any problems at all with the silent?
No, we've been great in our communication all year on the road. And, really the last 2 years we've been a really, really good road team, and communication is a big part of that.
I asked Brian about just kind of the struggles in the run game recently, and he said that, of course, you want to be better in the run game, but basically they're going to put the ball in your hands because they think that's the best chance to win, so don't really look at the stats knowing that. Do you like having that on your shoulders? It seems like you carry that well, but do you ever find yourself having to have that balance where you don't try and do too much, knowing that the team is basically saying, we're riding with you, we know our hopes and fates rely on you?
Yeah, I think that's where you pick your spots to try to be, play within the offense and, take your completions and move the ball down the field, and then there's going to be situations where nothing's open and you're going to have to make a play, and you just pick your spots and pick your moments that you can do that, and you think it's okay to do that, and you're in a spot in the game where maybe you're down a little bit and you need a spark, and so you try to make one of those plays that you can. But for the most part, just play the game the way it's supposed to be played, play within the game plan, and that's why I have all the trust in our coaches to put together great game plans like they have since I've been here. You just execute it the way it's supposed to be, and the rest will take care of itself.
Do you think you're better at that now than you were a year ago?
Yeah, just understanding situational football. When can maybe I extend this play as opposed to throwing it away or taking my check down for 1 or 2 and staying on track. That's where I think I've grown the most.
Joe, you posted on. Go ahead, Jay.
You guys have the second fewest turnovers in the red zone this year in the league. How much does caution come into play when you get down there? Do you maybe, if a window that's you might take a shot at in the middle of the field that you don't when you're in the red zone, how much does that play into?
I think it just depends on what play you have called and what defense is, being countered. Every play down there has for the most part, a specific look that you're looking for, and sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. And, knowing when you get it and when you don't, and what situation the game is, maybe you can extend the play and try to make something happen. But, if you don't get the look, you throw it away and live to see another down.
Joe, you posted on Instagram a picture with Jon Snow below it. What part of his character do you feel like you align with? Is there a background to that?
King in the North, baby.
He was resurrected later, I think. Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
I am a Game of Thrones fan, yeah.
A deeper level to that.
No, nothing deeper.
Since you've been in college, you've always kind of used your legs as a last resort when it comes to scrambling. But how much better do you think you've gotten at that this year, and how much more important is that going to be against Buffalo's front, like we mentioned?
Yeah, I think the longer out from my knee injury I've got, the better I've become at that. It's just from hard work, getting back to where I was before, and I maybe haven't done it quite as much this year, but I don't think I've needed to. And that just comes with what we were talking about earlier, knowing the situational football and the aspects of those games, and understanding when I can and can't, and when I should and shouldn't.
Cordell came in as rookie, won the job. could argue, I guess, that he's even more important now. How have you seen that guy develop?
He's really been really good from day one. Smart, tough, physical, big, strong. I mean, to me, he's everything you could ask for in a guard. Works really hard, knows his stuff. He's going to play for a long time.
Joe, you've seen similar looks, soft shell, a lot all season long. Does Buffalo's defense do anything else that reminds you of another defense you played against this year?
They're pretty unique. They pick their spots to pressure, and they're good at it, and they can surprise you with it. And then they play they mix up which side they're clouding. They play some coverages that a lot of other teams don't, so they make it challenging on quarterbacks.
Joe, you played, you played many games in the snow. It looks like it might snow a little bit, and kind of what challenges might that represent?
I've only played one, but we've had some practices in the snow, and that's really where you get your reps and learn that, and it really shouldn't be an issue. Doesn't really change much like the rain does.
I know you've warmed up with gloves. If it is snowing, would you play with gloves, considering that?
No, don't plan on it. Thanks, guys.